Hello. All right, folks. A very blessed evening, morning, or afternoon. You can realize that we just have a bit of a challenge, but thank God we are back. So I would encourage you to just invite a friend, let a friend get on board right now, even as we look at the weightier matters. All right. So we're waiting for you, folks. Now, if today is your first time, I want to welcome you to the Weightier Matters, where we, with clinical precision, look at issues from a very fair, firm, and fearless manner. And that is what we are trusting God to help us today. So, still waiting for you to just draw attention of a brother or a friend, and we will be good to go. Just a moment. Still waiting. Moma yendi ye nyankopon echi. Moma yemfa yehutunu so. Na ono na obradi nyina so. Na ono na now, so we're supposed to come a bit earlier. We had a bit of a challenge, so you can see that even the format is changed a bit, but just be patient. I want to encourage you to invite a friend, a brother. Today's Weightier Matters is going to be what I believe God wants us to do. So just be patient and invite a friend, okay? Invite a friend right away. All right. So in previous episodes or last week, we looked at very, very critical issues. And today we intend to go even deeper. And if today is your first time of joining me, I want you to just invite a friend. Now, let me say this. The aim of all that we are doing at the end of the day is to let the truth be out there. For scripture says that we will know the truth, and the truth will set us free. It is important that we get to know the truth. And for those of you, again, who are visiting us or joining us for the first time, just a moment. I think that there's a bit of a challenge. Let me quickly work on it. And then we'll see how. No. Okay. Okay, let's see. All right, I just hope it's fine. Let's manage it. It's one of those things. We had a bit of a challenge, so I'm coming to you on my phone, but it's okay. It's okay. So yes, I'm waiting for you. Get your friends on. We'll zoom in very soon. Get your friends on. We'll zoom in very, very soon. All right. So today, I want you to be very patient and very open-minded and open up to engage. If you have any question, just drop it. I'll try and respond to it. If you have any submissions, just try and let's hear you out. Today I'm looking at, I've termed it the blood money. The blood money. And very soon you understand why I'm calling it the blood money. Let me just give a background of what I'm about to share. A few years ago, I was transferred to Bolga. I'm just giving a quick background, very quick one, because every day there are new people joining us. Now, when I got there was the need to do something about where the ministers stay, because some of them were, had serious cracks. I know for those of you who have been following, it may be like a repetition, but it's going to give you the background to what I'm sharing today. Hi, folks. Yeah, I can see some of you joining us for the first time, especially TikTok. I'm happy you have been able to connect with us. Again, if this is your first time, we are looking at weightier matters from my book, Struck Twice. And those are the issues we are dealing with from the book. Very soon, as I always explain, we'll engage other people with different experiences to also join us. So getting into what I was saying, now when I went there, it became necessary for us to do something about the cracks and the state of the pastor's residence. So I spoke to my brother. We engaged. He gave me lots of ideas as to how he thinks that problem could be solved. But at that time, not like now, I didn't have much understanding to these issues of construction, and he is very good. I mean, he's a great guy, and I wanted to encourage you, if you have anything about construction, just get in touch with him. Anything about survey, get in touch with us. We would sort you out solidly. But because of his great experience, I just thought I should tap into it. Now, when we had the discussions, I felt that, look, please come and help us. Now, get this clear. I spoke to him as a brother, my own brother. I wanted him to come and help me as my brother. Sorry, Facebook, I think we're having a challenge with our friends on Facebook. Let's try and see if we can reconnect so that we all get to the same. Just a moment. I'm trying, so I can see that we are disconnected on Facebook, but just give me a moment. Let's see if we can get back. So those of you on YouTube and TikTok, I think we are still connected. Let's see what can be done. Network issues for you. Okay, just be a bit patient with me. Let me try and solve those on Facebook. TikTok, I think you guys are there. I hope Facebook too is back. Okay, I think we are back. Now, Facebook, can somebody just give me a hi to let me know? I think we went off. If you can hear me, can you just let me know you can hear me? I think the network, just somebody should say, make a comment that I can hear you or something so that I can continue with what I'm saying. Sorry, I think there was a cut in transmission, and so we went off, and we are back. So if any of you can hear me, just send me a note to let me know that you can hear me loud and clear so that I can continue. Because of the way the network went. Hey, folks. I'm asked, can you guys hear me? Oh, somebody just say hi, hello, I can hear, or you can hear me. Okay, I can see on TikTok, but can somebody help me on Facebook? Well, that's where we went out, so that I can continue. Okay, all right. So you can be here now. So I was saying that my brother, who is very solid in construction, I had to engage him. I had to talk to him to come and help me. Obviously, when he came in the name of a company. And he came, listen to this carefully because it has an impact on what I'm about to say. He came to me, and then he helped us in constructing 2 mission houses for free. And when I say for free, I mean in terms of his labor and the personnel he brought, he did not charge a cedi or a peso. That was the reason why I brought him to Bolga. At that time, there was nothing about any other thing. It was purely, I wanted him to help us in Bolga. Now, along the line, there was a suggestion that we should get to, there was a suggestion from my estate committee that the hospital project that we are building, there's the need for an intervention, because there is a deadline. We were in February. I believe some of you have heard it over, but just because of the point I'm going to make today. Today, the points are going to be a bit deep. So you need to get the background very well and just get it. All right. So when my estate committee came to me and said, Papa, we have a problem. The financier, the one giving us the money, wants us to finish the project June, July. We're in February. At that time, the foundation has not even, we've not come out of the foundation. And 2, the rains were coming. And once the rains come, we're in February, you know, Bolga rain, it will be so difficult to continue the project. And thirdly, the contractor on the project seems not to have capacity. So we need to get a new contractor. To cut the story short, I called a meeting, I asked everybody, and they were all in agreement that we needed a new contractor. At that time, out of a good heart, out of a desire to help and knowing what we are able to do, I suggested to them that, look, these guys that we've asked to help us with the mission house, can you engage them to see if it's cool with you that they will take over the hospital, and build? Engage them. And to be honest with you, the nature of the situation, I had to do something. I had to step in. So, but I was not in my heart of heart. It wasn't a big deal. If they engaged him and they were fine with him, that's okay. If they engage him and they are not okay and they will bring somebody else, that's okay. I wasn't really, I just wanted to get a thing done. Now, but I also made a caveat, and this is where you need to get it. I made a caveat that because of the relationship, at the time I knew I'm a director of the company, I knew it's my brother, but I did not tell them that for very good reasons. This is Church of Pentecost. Sometimes we pretend, but once they know that this is Papa's brother, Papa is a director, if they don't negotiate well, it will come back to bite me. So I felt that, look, yes, there are legalities, but let me see how best to do something for God. And at that time, I had already negotiated with them to do the mission houses for free. And I just couldn't say that, okay, go and build a clinic too for free. That would be greedy. A whole major project library, that would I say for free. And that is why I told them that you go and negotiate, you go and talk to them. If you're okay, negotiate with them. But I will not be part of any negotiation. Obviously, because of the relationship, you may say it's conflict of interest, your brother, nepotism, all those kind of things. So I wanted them to have a free hand to negotiate well. Now, this action that I took became the pivot of my demotion and the eventual dismissal. Now, I've just given you this brief background to let you know how come today I'm doing the weightier matters. Now, this action that I introduce my own brother or a company that I'm a director to come and help, this is the response the chairman and the executive gave with that action. I want you to listen to the response and then I'll come back to it. Now they say, and I'm reading from them, EKA, that is Emmanuel Acquah, as area head of the Bolga area, and at the same time a director and shareholder of A Solutions, a firm he recommended and got the area to engage for the project, was a grievous ministerial indiscretion, which placed him in a serious conflict of role, duty, and interest. Conflict of interest. So, as to whether they came to help, as to whether their actions were for the good of the church, it appears that is not the issue. And I'll tell you the reason why I'm saying this. The case is that you have no business, more or less, bringing your brother or a company that you were a director to shareholder to come and help. It appears when they came to help the mission house, that one, nobody said he was your brother. Nobody had an issue of you were a director. No comment on that one. That was not grievous ministerial indiscretion. When they were building the mission, it was not grievous. But when there was an urgent need and I recommended that, look, engage them if they're okay. They engaged them. They came back excited that, Papa, they are good. They didn't even know what I am to it, but they are very good. Please let them come. I recall when they were coming, my brother asked me, but you guys no contract. And I asked the area they can go for your mom contract. And they said, and it is not like we were not going to do. In fact, they started working on the contract, and they gave me a draft. But at the time that the auditors came, we had not completed it. Now, so the executive and leadership is saying that no matter what, once I, as a director, and my brother, also a director, and I brought that company, that is grievous ministerial indiscretion. I had no business letting them. I presume it's the same principle that they had no business coming to even help in building the mission houses. And then when it comes to the hospital, no matter what sacrifice, no matter what they did, which I'll prove to you, it is unwarranted. It is still gross indiscretion. And serious, look at the words they use. And then listen to this again. He said, the minimum level and nature of disclosure required in this situation. Listen carefully, and I will be very plain with this. The minimum level and nature of disclosure required, underline the word required. Underline the word required. It means that the chairman and the executive is saying, anytime I say the chairman and the executive, I believe that most of you have heard me repeat this and over and over. I feel so restrained, but unfortunately, there's nothing I can do. I feel, because somehow in my heart of hearts and knowing what has happened, I don't believe that everybody on the executive council will write the things that were written. But it is written in their name, so permit me, I have to say chairman and executive council so that it doesn't become as if I'm picking and choosing. But that is the situation. Even though in my heart I believe that not everybody will agree, but it was signed on their behalf. So I use that advisedly. It says the minimum level of nature of disclosure required, minimum level and nature of disclosure required. So it's a requirement according to this thing. This situation ought to have been a formal, written, full disclosure of his status in the new construction fair to the area executive committee, the national council, and the then general secretary, or the sponsoring area Teshinungwa area head. That was the least he could do, and procure an express and written approval to proceed with his own construction firm. This is the response or the charge. This is what the chairman and the executive council are saying. But with all due respect, this claim, this requirement is false. With all due respect, it is false that there is such a requirement. I have read when these issues came. I mean, though I knew, but I had to read to find out. Is there such a requirement, as the chairman wants us to believe, that as a director, if I have to bring somebody into it, there is a requirement that I have to do a full disclosure. I have to have a written formal communication to all these bodies, and then I have to receive an express approval. Is there such a requirement? I'll come to that very soon. Now, so this to me is untrue. Now, I'll deal with these things before later I come to other issues where I call it the blood money. Now, listen to what the church's statement are on or is on conflict of interest. Listen to what the Church of Pentecost has stated when it comes to conflict of interest. It is not about what somebody thinks. It is not about what I believe should be the case. What does the church manual, handbook, constitution says? And I'll read. 5.9 under the administrative manual. It writes conflict of interest. Conflict of interest is a situation where a minister's outside activities, underlined. Conflict of interest is a situation where a minister's outside activities could negatively affect the church's or the minister's performance. So the first question is, did I take an action outside of the church which affected the church or my performance? That's the question somebody will have to ask. Ministers should themselves avoid and encourage their families to also avoid engaging in anything of financial interest that would create a conflict with his performance and duties. Any action that would create of financial interest that would create a conflict with his performance of their duties. Then he goes on to say, they should not knowingly use the church's property, funds, position, or power for personal or political gain. They are not therefore to engage in any business activity that competes or conflicts with the church's interest. So, my brothers, my sisters, this is what the church's stand is. So the question is what I did. Asking my brother or asking a company I'm a director to come and build mission houses for free. I mean, not charge us what they did for free. That was my crime. And to have recommended them, not that I determined how much they should be paid, but because I didn't want anybody to accuse me that I have intentionally brought my and then given the money to chop, I had to put in place a system to ensure that the interest of the church is protected, even though he's my brother. And I'll give you very soon my reasons. Now, you see, this is the only statement about the conflict of interest in the whole Church of Pentecost, in their constitution, in the manuals, in the financial, everything. This is the only statement on conflict of interest. That is why I told you that statement up there, that the minimum requirement is a requirement, is found nowhere. it is somebody respectfully who sat down and think that this should be done. Fine. If you think that this is what I should have done, yes, said, okay, maybe next time write an official letter, blah, blah, blah. But until this issue came up, I never knew this. Not that I didn't know it only, but after that, I went to read. Did I make a mistake? There was nothing. This was what was all there. Now, because I wanted to be sure, I engaged an estate guru, somebody in the Church of Pentecost at a high, very high level, who understand estate matters, manuals, and all those things. And he also had to do thorough investigation as to the stand of the church. And let me read to you the response he brought. He said, neither the Constitution, Ministerial Handbook, or the Estate and Estate Maintenance Manual provides explicit information on conflict of interest. Now, this was his response to me after he has commissioned a research and they had done thorough investigation whether this thing that has been written, that the requirement of me was to write for written approval from the financiers, from the area head, from the chairman, and all those things, whether it's a requirement. If it is a requirement, then you say I've broken a requirement. You cannot take such a strong decision like demotion and dismissal. If a rebuke, fine. If something, fine. But to dismiss somebody on a non-existing rule is so unfair. It's unchristian. It's wrong. And to make matter worse, something that is not there, you intentionally write it. You intentionally write this. And then we talk about integrity. Any book work of by force the abbation. For our brothers who don't understand tree, don't worry. In other words, what I'm saying is that this statement here is not true that there's that policy there. So apart from me, who have studied, tried to get it, maybe I was wrong. Apart from that, who did the research, studied the manual, studied the whole document to give me feedback, because I thought there was something wrong. Is it that I was ignorant? Apart from that, my two very, solid lawyers, Elder, how about this man, Poma Boating and Elder Mroko, amazing gentlemen, solid gentlemen. They also took their time, studied the church's policy. As for lawyers, they can read better, and I thought maybe I was wrong. So let me make it point clear, that's a lie. There's nothing like this, so false. And I don't expect at that level, people will bring something which is not in the Constitution or manual or anything, just to strike at me. It's so... So that was the first untruth. And you can't base on this to dismiss me. Number two, which is also so untrue. I don't want to use some words. Listen to the other statement they make. This fact, already the top fact is not a fact, but they said this fact, coupled with ballooning ballooning of projects and entire costs. What is the meaning of this? Which project cost was ballooned? I am not a QS, and I followed the church's arrangement. He says when it comes to this, it's the estate committee. I don't even know how they measured their square meters. Those days I was so ignorant, but now I'm a construction guru. I'll come to that also. I didn't know. They sat down, prepared the thing, and initially, in fact, with my ignorant mind, I thought that it was 2.7 million. That's what we all knew. And then later, as the work went on, other issues came up, and I said, this thing, I wish you the figures. Then they explained to you, Papa, the 2.7 is the first phase. and that because of the speed they wanted the project, we needed to do it what they call phases, phase 1, phase 2. So then I said, and then you do all the things together. Let me get the actual figure at the end of the day. Then they, as experts, came back and said that when they finish everything, the project may be about almost 7 million. I don't know how they came by that figure. As to whether it is not that we spent the 7 million, at the time we have only spent 2.4. Is the ballooning on the 2.4 that was spent? Is it that it was supposed to be 2.1 or 1.5 and I abused the money? When the auditors came, why didn't they question me on that one? That why this money? Not one question on the project, on financial issues by the auditors. And it's sad and unfortunate, as I told you. It's so wrong that auditors will come to you, audit you, and they won't let you see their finding. Apart from when they sat down and gave me questions to answer. Okay, did you inform your committee? You pay this, you use this money to, I told you the last time, so I don't want to go back. Use this money for AIDF for mission house renovation. Did you seek permission? But when it comes to the construction of the project, not a single query on money I used. In fact, it was when I was dismissed and I requested for the report. Then I saw that they said some 400 and something unaccounted for. Why would they hide it? I called my area deacon that, are you aware they say we couldn't account for some for 400? He said, wait, no, we don't know about that. I asked the area accountant, did you know about something? So where did they get that 400 from? Where? And why didn't they ask us? So if you tell me balloon, I deal with me who can any balloon, I say balloon, ballooning of projects entire cost. It's so unfair to me. Tell me what I did. Unapproved payments. Which of them was not approved? In fact, I'll find time and deal with all these things later. But just to quickly go to my main point. You say unethical procurement by other officers. Who? This thing I will deal with it. I recall at a meeting, a former area deacon accused the current area deacon that this area deacon, all I know was that he used to sell tires, now all kinds of things. So accusing the man in the presence of the executive. And then this man stood up and said, Papa, what this man is saying is not true. He was shouted at anyway, and he said, this is what word? Banter. So it means even if you have been accused, you can't respond. And you say, friend, so we should just sit down. Like some of you say that, keep quiet, keep quiet. We won't keep quiet. We won't, because we can't. As for me, I know that and I'm okay. I'm happy where I am. But I don't think it's fair that this thing should be done to other people. So, and they're messing up this project. I'm saying that all these things were false. But if somebody says that you are an Alexander, as I always say, even that crank, look, with all due respect, it's not nice. So if you want to get me out of the church, just say, my friend, I don't like the way you behave, but don't concoct things which do not exist. It is, I don't want to say it's shameful, but it's not fine. It's not fine. And then he says, this is what even disturbs me anytime I go through these things. I mean, why should leadership do this? I don't believe it's a whole leadership. Just any one or two people just want to show a power. Listen, he says, your client took personal responsibility for all and apologized for his role. Apologize. And I don't know why the chairman wants to do this. I have to add the executive. I still say I don't believe that. But that's my opinion. I may be very wrong, and I hope I'm wrong. Or rather, I hope I'm right. That is not the entire executive. Because if it is, then we have a long way to go. How can he persistently say, I admitted all charges? And what hurts the most, not hurts specifically, but what is not nice, is even when I had written an appeal and stated the things that I admitted and the things that I rejected or I did not admit, he still goes around and writes such a thing that you admitted all personal responsibility. I don't know, but during the national audit, something happens. I hope it is not because of that. I sat in the meeting and I saw the things that were coming left and right, people that, and I said, why this? Why this? And I felt it so much. I felt him say, why are people doing this? When I knew my heart, what they were saying was not true. So I stood up and I said, look, you know what? I take full responsibility. I apologize. I didn't consult anybody. The project I decided myself. There was no executive meeting, no estate committee meeting. I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't share the plan with Teshinungwa. I didn't do anything. So I take full responsibility. And then when I said that, my area deacon stood up and pointed at one person and said, I didn't move Trosa. And then he broke down into tears. And then the secretary, the atmosphere changed because they knew that what I was saying, I don't know what word to use, but I said, yo, okay, so even the committee at the national level knew that what Papa is saying, I think there's something. So they even closed the meeting and called me alone to the meeting, but out of reverence and the grace and maturity they engaged me. I don't want to give what they said or what happened there. But at that meeting, I never said that I admit all those things. So when somebody stand before you and say, okay, I didn't even talk to my secretary, I didn't talk to any area deacon, even the project, nobody was involved. I did the project myself. Everything I took it. And you take that to mean, but I don't think that is what they mean. They just want to lie that I admitted everything. And I'm using it bluntly. Because, they said it to the heads, I heard it, but I felt it's one of those things that he admitted every charge and then he even apologized. I heard it, but I took it as one of the things. Until the chairman wrote in my dismissal letter that you admitted all charges, then I knew that Master, this I can't keep quiet because it's on my record. It means that I admitted I changed minutes. It means I admitted that I chopped church money. I caused financial loss. It means that I admitted that I did not follow procedure. I did not admit some of them. I admitted things like, were you a director? I said, yes. But it's not strange. Friends, Registrar General trying to dig. I don't know. Maybe somebody thought I would lie. So I would say, but unfortunately, when they asked me, I said, yes, I'm a director. When they said, did you sign a contract? I said, no, I didn't sign a contract. And you see, when it comes to the issue about you didn't follow procedure, I clench. You see, there is no policy. Now listen carefully. When God puts us in position of authority, let's not just take the laws into our hands. Let's not take policies and let's just write anything, because you'll be maybe challenged. And we should learn this as pastors, as leaders. When God lifts us up, it doesn't mean we can just write anything. No, we don't do that. They said that when I was changing the contractor, I did not follow policy. Isn't this strange? There are laid down very thorough policies on when you want to start a project. That one which has a policy, which is written down when you want to start a project. Teshinungwa area head and Teshinungwa, they had all the time to do what? Competitive bidding. They did not. They just said, Acquah, Monfasa, use that gentleman in Boga, use him. It was all right for him as an apostle. Or is it because he was bringing the money? It was all right for him to no competitive bidding, to say use this person. For 1 year, no competitive bidding. There was no contract with that gentleman that they brought. But when we are in February and then there's an emergency and I have to step in, and there is no policy. I'm saying that there's no policy on the Church of Pentecost concerning when you have to midstream, you have to change a contractor, or you have to, yes, there's no policy on that. So the natural thing is that is what leadership comes into play. You have to take hold of the situation and do something about it. I think we've gone off air again. Today's network is not helping us, but I hope we can be reconnected. I don't know. The other guys, are you on TikTok? As for Facebook, I know you are off. I don't know whether YouTube you are also off. Can somebody let me know if they can hear me on oh, okay, I think they are back. Sorry, we lost you guys. I'm so sorry. So I was saying that there is no policy. I hope you can hear me, folks. Okay. There is no policy on changing contractors midstream, or when you have a deadline and there's a problem and you need to solve it. There's no policy. You see, there is no policy. Those of you with questions, I'll try and see if I can solve them later on. So I'll come to you. I've seen some of your questions. It says, who gave the first contractor for the project, and was the contractor sanctioned by executive? Let me continue. I'll come and I'll answer this question. But let me say that there is no policy on changing contractors in midstream. But I'm saying that the one that even has a policy, where the area head just said, use this person, no competitive building, nothing. That one is okay for the executive council and the chairman. Again, he says, I didn't sign a contract. The one that had 1 whole year to sign a contract didn't sign. That one is okay. But I, who had to just step in and help the situation, not that I even didn't sign a contract, they were still working on it, but just they wanted to finish. So we decided, okay, let them come. And I also knew that it was my brother. He won't chop church money, and we won't also cheat him. So we had to let him come. So get this point clear, there's no policy. So I did not break any rule by stepping in and helping the church. Now, having established it, let me try and make some points. Granted, having said that all these rules are not there and all these things are not written, even if it was so, can't we look at the motive, the context? Why will he do this? How can you say this is gross ministerial conduct when I brought them to come and help build mission? You know, the reason I keep bringing the mission house thing is that people think that I had them in mind for the hospital. That's why I brought the mission house. But God knows my heart, and my conscience tells me that at the time I wanted them to come and help with the mission, build it on pro bono basis. Nothing like the hospital had even come to my mind, and it had not even been raised. So I did that thing. I knew I was a director. I knew all the things I'm being accused of. But do you call that indiscretion? Or is it because when it comes to the hospital, it's not free, but I ask that they negotiate? You know what? Maybe some people think that, as for them, they can't fathom how somebody is a director or his brother has a company. They can't fathom how they can use it to help the church. In their mind, as somebody saying, company be the boss. It's because in their thinking, in their mind, they think that once you bring your company, they come chop church money. You can't be chop church money. You are come to steal money from the church. Some of us are not like that. We are Christians. So everything we have, our talents, our businesses, our companies, our friends, our contacts, we are mobilizing them to help the church. And it was in the same spirit I did this. So if I was willing to come and build mission house for free, why would I want to dupe the clinic? And let me state this. You see, what is sad is that it's unfortunate I have to say this, but to let you know some of these things. I honestly knew that the contractor that Teshinungwa brought was in charge of the project, because that's what they told me. It was when the auditors came and they started saying the project is bad, we have to pull it down, we can't even cover it, we have to remove the roof. Some quack analysis, something that the whole estate committee chairman of the Church of Pentecost has come and said that this project he used the word, I think it was over design or something, that because we've already spent, we can even add another floor. Auditors come and they see that the thing is so bad, we have to pull it down. It's so sick, the foundation is so bad. My officers challenged it, but they still said it was so bad, we need to pull it down. But they didn't pull it down. Eventually, they've continued. Why didn't they pull it down? You dismiss me, and then after the dismissal, the project gets healing. But thank God for that. At least the project was healed, so it wasn't had to be pulled down. We bless God. But you see, it was then that I called the contractor and asked him, "But Master, they are saying that the foundation, the steel works you did, you didn't do this measurement, you didn't do that." And he said, "Papa, me did not miss in Kwana me you. So and so was in charge of all steel works. So and so was in charge of capital works." Really? So did they know that? When that person, that officer, his name is in my book, for but out of respect, this place I won't mention his name, but he knows himself. And if you go to my book, when that officer stood and said, "And me and the former area head, we think about the church, but Apostle came, and then, oh, so he was the one doing the steel works." But that is not even the issue, because personally, if he's the one doing it, hallelujah, we're blessed God. But to let you know that Ace came in with an interest. When they came, the kind of things they showed me, so later when I got to know that it was this person who was in the stewards, I bless God that Ace came in, because one day that what would have happened? But they had to remove all those things and redo all those things again. And the steel band was hanging, and they had to put them on the floor. I don't have time to say that. And then somebody sits somewhere and say gross misconduct, ministerial indiscretion. Hey, bro, you're true. But let me before I conclude. Now I knew that I was coming to help, because this is not the first time Ace has helped. I told you that when we were in South Africa, Ace had a great contract, Eastern Corridor Road, that time. And we decided we were going to push money into South Africa. That December, I told you last time that we gave money even for the Christmas donations. But people don't know. They thought it was from the church, but we did it. When I came to New Takrady, Ace pumped money. I didn't tell anybody. When I went to Bolga people will know that I called a meeting. I wanted us to do training in guinea fowl, pigs, and all this. We did all those things. And I contacted the bank manager of Republic Bank that will put money there so that he can manage it for us. We wanted to help. So when my brother heard that, look, and I'm coming to the blood money, look, if my coming in, because they paid me for work I had legitimately done, negotiations that they themselves had the final say, not the contractors, it's the estate committee that had the final word. If that is going to be a problem and you are going to lose your ministry, don't worry. I'm going to sign a check of all monies the church has paid me, and you give it to them so that you can have your peace and do your ministry. Now, when he told me, I said, "Oh, master, don't, yeah, it's okay, it's okay." But when I got to the executive meeting, and in spite of all that, the things my brother did, I'm telling you, Ace, when even the estate committee orders something from Accra, he will use his own truck, free of charge, and bring all the things to Bolga for free. You call that indiscretion? They started work even when they had not been paid, and the auditors mischievously, payments that were made for missions, they intentionally recorded that even before they started work, they have made payment, when they know that that payment was not for the hospital. So even when no payment was made, they mobilized to site to help us achieve our goal. You call that indiscretion? Obi your papa indiscretion. In fact, even when they had agreed on the what we call it, the rate, I went to them and said, look, we need to meet this deadline. We are not going to pay you extra, but I want you to work 24 hours. You pay your people yourself. And they agreed. All they said was, okay, give us light. Somebody was willing to do all this for the church. And you sit there and say, it doesn't matter whether it was interest of the church or not. It doesn't matter. As long as he's your brother, as long as you're a director, dismiss her. Obey. My brothers and sisters, I want to end by saying that, you see, let's be Christians. So, yes, so when After doing all this, when I went to the executive meeting, and I saw that in spite of all the explanation they were giving, I was given, the people are just reluctant. Your brother, you say a contract, it's all about thinking that we've stolen money. So I remembered what my brother said. Look, for you not to lose your ministry, don't worry. Every money they give me, whether I work for it, I'll pay them everything. It's not a problem. Enjoy your ministry. It's not anything. I told them that, okay, please respect. I want to make a request. I would want your permission to refund every money that was paid to Ace. Just when I said it, out of some anger, chairman said, we won't, what? This is blood money. Hey, blood money, we can't accept it. Withdraw that statement. Hey, referring me to Judas, selling Jesus Christ. Madani Judas, you are saying that you are not happy. Oh, Facebook, what is happening? You are saying that you are not happy that my brother and I'm a director. I said, okay, no problem. I want to serve my God. It's not because of money. I want to refund the money. And then you say it's blood money. You won't accept it. And that I should withdraw. That day, I think Angel Gabriel, Angel Michael, and all the angels had to come down. But the way I would have responded, but they calmed my heart. I said, okay, I withdraw. So then what was the motive? That I asked myself, so why? If you said you think the person has stolen money or chopped money, I have not taken any money of the church which is not due me. I'm not a thief. I'm not. My name is Brisika. I just wanted to help. And if that would be a problem, I want to refund you. Say, hey, blood money, you don't want it. So what was the chairman, the executive really? I don't even know. What was the motivation? So this blood money thing, I thought it was so unfair. It was unchristian to call your brother blood money, especially when all the accusations you are laying against him is untrue. And then when you say that you've dismissed him, and he says that I can't accept, you say, hey, that's contempt. That should be like when I didn't disclose fully. They say, hey, why didn't you disclose? Then when I went to the National Estate Committee, your chairman thought I had disclosed. He also said that having disclosed, don't you think that people will be afraid and they cannot stand? So if I disclose, problem. If I don't disclose fully, problem. But hey, at least my heart and my conscience know we wanted to help the church. We have been in the business of using Ace to help the church. I recall at a point I told the current general secretary, but later I changed and said, it's okay. He said, you two don't know your own. If you have done something good for the church and they paid you back with these things, please don't worry. As far as I'm concerned, there was no conflict of interest. I rather did everything in the interest of the church. I've also explained to you that these so-called, you should have written, it's nowhere in the church. And let's stick to what the church says. And by the definition of the church, did I do something against the interest of the church? I want to end by saying, God bless you. I had to pour my heart out to you because I think that we've done what God wants us to do. And I don't regret at all bringing my brother to come and help. We wanted to help. If somebody say he won't let you help, no problem. I bless God that the building, after all, when they said it was so bad, it has to be pulled down, was not pulled down. Now they finish it. We bless God for that. And I'm happy that at the end of the day, my heart and my conscience. So those of you, and this is where I want to end. You too may be an elder or an officer. Genuinely, you want to do something for God, and people, they will say that you didn't, you have done wrong, you didn't do well, you didn't do that. Don't worry. Don't worry. God will reward you. Let them dismiss you. Let them sack you. Let them take any action against you. God will reward you. All right. So we are going to just take a quick break, and then we will come back to you in a jiffy.